Namaste, Jai Bharat. Tibet. Tibet is not a new story. It was in 1951, if I'm right, China invaded Tibet and the ruler of Tibet, Dalai Lama, had to come to Bharat and still live in Bharat and run the administration, the Tibetan government in exile or from exile. Tibet is more culturally related to Bharat, emotionally related to Bharat, and China has illegally occupied Tibet through an army action. Tibet is a plateau. Our path to Kailas is through Tibet, and there are a lot of historical stories. Milarepa is from Tibet. So the connection between Tibet and Bharat is very intense in spite of their Mongoloid appearance, which may mislead you to think that they are closer to Chinese, but they are not. They are very cultural people. China has already thrown away their religion with which they could have connected to Bharat traditionally and culturally. But they, in the name of communism, had done away with that, though they might be still appreciating Confucianism and Taoism, etc., which has its deep roots in Bharat. So the point in Tibet is now there are many rivers originating from Tibetan plateau or from Tibet. Many rivers which flow to Bharat and other parts, Vietnam is affected, and many Laos and all those places. There are many rivers originating from Tibet, and millions of people live using that water from rivers originating from Tibet, including Brahmaputra. And China has China is notorious for nefarious intentions because their dictatorship basically. Dictatorship means one person's mistake it becomes disastrous. Now, they have already built dams. How many dams? The number I just forgot. Plenty of dams they have built in Tibet all through all these years. So they can stop water flow and also can flood the areas of it, large areas of it. So many dams. I think it's in thousands or what. That figure was with me. Brahmaputra, they already constructed one of the largest dam perhaps in the world, which can control water, release water, and that too, from that dam, the water falls something like 200 meters right down and flows to northeast part of Bharat, particularly Assam and that area, adjoining states. So China intends means they can go for a water bomb. Water bomb is a new phenomenon which can impact in the future of all the entire world. So Tibet, China has no right to hold on Tibet. So I just presume that somehow there are a lot of free Tibet propaganda. There are a lot of free Tibetan activists all over. They had been functioning in some ways or other. So the people don't support China. Tibetans don't support China. But for some reasons, if China gets weakened economically, they don't have a very good army or air force or war equipments. China, in spite of what they boast, these things are not tested, ground tested. So there's a possibility that Tibet can rise up and get independence in some time in future, and that would solve half of the world problems. For that, China must become weak. But China is not yet weak. There's a possibility that they can become weak, provided their economic strength is destroyed. Which I don't know to what extent the US is sincere in that, because US can very well be trusted. They say something in the morning and something else in the afternoon, and something a little different by night or by evening. So you just can't trust US. What they speak, what they do, they're shifting. The very temporary judgments, very temporary statements. But if they can stand strong, they want China to be weak. And how they do it is, I don't know, they don't understand. But possibly, well, if China gets weak and Tibet can be independent, that's what they had been longing for, right, from 1951, ever since the illegal occupation of Tibet by China. They have been longing, they have been trying, and but not very effectively. Chinese army is there in Tibet. So if Tibet is freed, that would solve at least 80% of the problems of this region. This region. We shall meet again with some other thought. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.